Soul's got soul.
It's Seoul's got soul. It's a nice place.
Soul's got soul.
So, Chelsea, talk to us through the 3 to 4 days we had in Seoul.
Yeah,
What were
soul.
your favourite parts, and what do you think people should know? Tips, tricks, dining, food, places to go, places not to go.
Yeah,
What
well,
was your
as we said
favourite?
in the intro, this is going to be our travel guide. And so we're going to start with Seoul. Seoul's got soul. So we did 3 days in Seoul, and that was like a
Mhm.
good amount of time to go see um, some things. We were staying in the area called Hongdae, which was a very convenient location. Lots going on there, very easy to get around. So we used the underground metro train system, which was quite easy to get around everywhere, connects you to everything.
It was kind
So
of the middle. Hongdae is sort of the central Korea, like in the city area,
yeah, you're
isn't it?
really in the city.
About 40 minutes to the airport by car, train, about an hour. Not too bad. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the train line.
Yeah, so anyway, we would get the metro pretty much to everywhere we needed to go. And you could even, where we were staying, which was the L7 Hongdae, you could actually get there from the airport via train because Hongdae actually connects to the airport line directly. We didn't do that because our flight got in late because we were delayed leaving Sydney. So we were a little bit late for the trains, but I do think it'd be a really easy way to get and cheap way to get
Mm.
from the airport, Incheon Airport, to Seoul City.
The train system's pretty incredible. If you look at the map systems, it's pretty insane. It actually goes. There's one train line that literally just does one big loop around the city, and that's pretty cool. There's all the different stops that you can go to, and that just literally does one big loop, and then everything else is like all over the place. But you can download. What was the app that you used? You
I
can,
used an app called Naver Maps.
yeah, and that was pretty helpful
Yeah, that
to get
definitely helps.
around.
But my biggest tip for getting around a foreign country in general is just to follow the signs. We're very lucky in Korea. Everything is in English. Like, obviously, the main text is in Korean, but they do have in smaller text everything in English. And even on the trains, they announce what station you're at in English. So you do feel quite catered for in that
Mm.
way. But yeah, so you can just follow the signs and follow the colors to kind of figure out where to go. One thing we did do is at Incheon Airport, on exiting, we did get our T. What are they called?
T
T money
Money card,
cards.
yeah, T Money
Yeah,
card.
and that is good because you can just then load cash onto that
Hmm.
to get around Seoul. And
Yeah, the T Money card was good, but I'll give a couple of tips just to everyone as well as you're getting off the plane. So just have all your documents ready to go. As you're coming into any foreign country, you always have to fill in like where you're staying. Are you declaring anything? Just the basics. So make sure your passport, everything is accessible, ready to go. Then you get through. Check in through the airport was actually pretty smooth in Seoul,
oh,
and
and what about the way they did the luggage?
and the luggage was cool
How
too.
this?
Yeah,
You know what?
this is what they do in Asian countries. They always tend to be a little bit more
So you've
gentle with
gone
your
through
bags.
immigration, blah
Yeah,
da, passport checks, everything.
you come to the bag carousel, which is pretty cool in Asian countries because you get the staff that just they collect your bag for you and they line it up in a big line for you. So
So
when you
yeah,
arrive, you can just collect your bag, find your bag tag and everything, and it's just there, nice and ready to
yeah,
go,
which is very
nice and stacked
different
up.
compared to, well, at Sydney Airport. It's just like everyone's crowded around the carousel trying to get their bags.
Yeah.
But yeah, in because we're gonna do an episode on our Japan trip as well, the Japan portion of our trip. But this is obviously the Korea portion. But they did it in Japan as
Hmm.
well, and it's very
It's a
polite.
breath of fresh air.
It's very nice. Like, it's very civilized, especially after 10-hour flight and everything. It really was refreshing.
Mm. And then you walk out, obviously, and it was nothing better leaving Australia where it was boiling hot and arriving, and you walk outside, and it was just that cold, fresh air.
It was so
It was
cold
very
the night
cold,
we arrived.
and I loved it. That was just so nice on my skin. I'm like, ah,
I think we do well in winter. Like, both of
it
our
was
skin,
good.
while we're over there, our skin was both so clear.
I was wearing a t-shirt and shorts too. I just walked straight out. People were looking at me going, "This
I
guy's."
mean, that is crazy.
But it just felt it was perfect. Oh, it was so comfortable. I love that.
I had more layers on than a t-shirt. I the first night we turned up, I had like my Juicy Couture tracksuit on, and I had like no other layers. And we got out of the cab in front of the hotel, and we're getting our bags, and I was freezing. My teeth were literally chattering. I think it was about -8 at the time.
Yeah, I'd say it was about that. It was very cold. Wind was pretty
If there's
aggressive as
wind, the
well.
wind just goes straight through you. So
Mm.
I think definitely layer up.
It was cool. I liked it. That
Layers are your
it's always
friends.
exciting that first night that you get there. It's just the start of a real adventure, and
Yeah,
it
you
was
know what?
cool.
It's like in the morning you were in Sydney, and then now like it's the start of the holiday.
Yeah.
It's a really uplifting feeling.
So yeah, so that was cool to get there and get the bags and just experience what a different airport's like and a different system. I will give advice though. Seoul Airport, there's not a lot of food to eat, so try and eat as much as you can
Oh,
before you
you're
get
talking
there.
about when you're leaving
Well, even
on
when you get there
departure.
as well, there's nothing there. There's no food.
There, Incheon Airport has like a Starbucks and then this other little tiny food court. That's all we could find, but we were in Terminal 2, so who knows what, like
I don't know
Terminal
what other
1 or...
terminals had, but it was yeah, just fill up before you get there because there was not a lot of food.
I had a great
But
Starbucks. Well, no, I'll keep going with the apps that I think you need as well, because we
right,
talked about having Naver Maps, because you need to be able to get around and it tells you what train lines to get and everything like that. But I also recommend downloading Google Translate or a Translate app that has Korean on it, because the people of Korea, the Koreans, they don't speak a lot of English, even though all the signage is in English. So
mm,
it's really helpful to have translation at the ready, particularly like ordering at cafes and restaurants and things like that, or if you just never know when you need it. So I'd always definitely download a translating app. That's a
yeah,
must.
100%.
So yeah, the first day. So yeah, as again we woke up in Hongdae, and
Nice lookout.
yeah, it's amazing. Like
I actually, I'll touch on the hotel. The hotel was really cool. So, over in Seoul and well in South Korea, the lobby is actually upstairs on level.
nothing's on ground level.
Nothing was on the ground level's like sort of the garage level where everyone comes and gets dropped off
Oh, and
bags
also
and
they
things.
don't call it ground level; they call it level 1. They
Yeah, I
do it like the
know.
Americans.
It's interesting.
Whereas in Australia and like a lot of places in the world, you have
It's
ground
ground
floor and
level.
then you have level one, two,
Mm.
three. Whereas they have ground level as level 1 and then they have basement 1,
So that was
basement
kind
2.
of weird to work in
The
with that.
amount of times I went to the wrong floor,
Yeah.
it was silly.
So yeah, no ground level one, and then level 35 for whatever reason usually, but was the lobby
Yeah, we had like a level
and
12,
the
we had a
main
level
sort of
35. So you're very high up
cafe.
and you can always see the view out to the
Yeah,
city. It's incredible.
but that was
Who
cool.
needs to go to a lookout when you can just look out the window?
And Hongdae L7 had that really cool pool table, nice breakfast buffet,
It was quite a groovy area, like
like
groovy common area.
bar area. It was a hectic hotel. I loved it.
Rooms were nice
Very
too.
comfortable rooms, very spacious. One of the only places in Asia that was quite spacious.
You actually could put your suitcase completely on
Open.
the ground,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know what, we were away
Times two.
for 3 weeks, or for you, yeah.
Yeah.
We were away for 3 weeks, so it's quite hard living out of a suitcase. So to be able to kind of open your suitcase fully is
And be able to
an
repack it when
advantage.
you need to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
repacking.
So, no, that was
And if
great.
you're like me and you do shopping, you need to
Mm.
be prepared.
All right. So, talk about your first day then.
First day was probably one of my favorite days of the whole trip. We went to one of the palaces, and it's the one with the secret garden attached to it. And it was such a beautiful, crisp, wintry day, and um, went and got the traditional hanbok to wear around the palace,
Mm.
which actually, travel tip, if you wear the hanbok into the palace, you actually get free entry.
Yes, that was cool.
So you pay to do the rental, and it is a really fun experience. The shop we went like early in the morning, and we had the whole shop to ourselves. And we got our hair done. We got to choose out of all the dresses and skirts and tops and everything. And so it was a really fun way to then see such a historical part of Korea, like their palace, and to go through wearing the big hoop skirts and everything. It was
Good for all the girls. I went down the road and had a nice hot chocolate as I waited for them.
yeah.
But I was on photographs that day. So, But it was still
I took
cool.
a lot of photos of
Still,
you too.
still cool to go around and just view that palace because there's nice, like rivers just running through the middle of the city, and it's so peaceful as well,
And
which
it's
is
so
weird.
quiet because you really are in the middle of the hustle and bustle of the
Yeah,
city. And then you walk in, it's like you pass through the gates and you're
and then
in
it's dead
another
quiet,
world. It's so
completely
silent and like
quiet.
it's so green in there and there's so much gardens. And it
Mm,
was really beautiful because the water in the sort of lakes and things were all frozen
yeah,
over. So that was quite, it was really pretty. And there was like, you're getting the historical context of what the different palaces were about and just seeing other people as well wearing the
it was
hanboks
a
as
cold
well.
day too, but I thought, yeah, the outfits looked great, and everyone, most people were wearing them,
Yeah, it was really
and
fun walking around and waving at other people who were also wearing the hanboks.
having the blonde hair made you stand out.
Yeah, I definitely stand out in Korea.
So, no, that was a cool day.
It was really fun, and I mean, it was just a good. It was a really good way to start the trip as well because it really got you into the zone.
And you can buy the outfits too, can't you?
I don't know. I didn't see anywhere where you could buy the
I'm
outfits,
pretty
but
sure you could
I
buy them.
mean, I don't know where you get them. But
So,
hiring it's fun, and yeah, you get to kind of show your creativity by picking your color scheme and
mm,
everything like that. I really, really recommend it. Even though it's probably apparently it's like the number one touristy thing to do, but it's definitely worth doing. It's a
yeah.
really fun experience.
No, it was good. Which leads us into day two,
Yeah,
where I left you off to do your shopping,
yeah. I had a
which
shopping
is
day.
what you had, and I went off to the DMZ. That was a cool day. Love that.
Yeah.
Great experience.
Tell us what is the DMZ?
The demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. So, a little bit of context there. If you know anything about the Korean War, um, and anything about the history of North and South Korea, basically they hate each other, and there's a big demilitarized zone with the South and the North basically just facing off against each other, and it's one big cat and mouse game. It's quite sad. They have to the North send over like balloons full of bombs basically, and they shoot it down, and then the Koreans send over, you know, like human rights on the like big speakerphones going into North Korea. So it is quite sad what's going on. They just want peace, I think, at the end of the day. But it's an awesome experience. You get to go down some massive tunnels into the where like right in deep into the DMZ zone, and that's about a 300. I think it's roughly 300 meters down, and you have to wear hard hats and everything, and it's freezing cold. If you go in winter, it's absolutely freezing cold. I don't know what it was. It was just I think it was about -10 when we got there, and in those tunnels, it's just nothing but like water dripping down the walls, and then just absolutely freezing in those tunnels. And they dug them all by hand and explosives. So quite incredible when you think about it like that. And it's just a great day out, and a definite tip for the travel guides is get to the DMZ zone and do the bus tour because it was an awesome day.
That's good.
I loved it.
Bit of history there. But I think that's really shows how resilient the Koreans have been as a
Mm,
people. And what I really am inspired by is how self sufficient they are as a nation.
yeah,
Using the resources that they have everything Korean branded, everything. I had a shopping day and all the shop ladies were so excited to tell me everything was made in Korea. They were showing me jewelry, makeup, the clothes, everything was made in Korea. And even like if you asked for a Sprite, there's no such thing as Sprite over there. It's all like the Lottie branded Sprite.
it
So
tastes the same,
it's
but it's
all their
Korean
own
branding.
brand.
Yeah.
And I just think that's amazing that, a pretty small country can
Mm.
be that self sufficient. It's really cool.
One of my favorite things about what they had over there was you'd go into like a convenience store, and this goes for both Korea and Japan, but I think the ice cream tasted better. It tastes better over there, but you go into just like the freezer section, and it's hard to explain, but it's basically just a soft serve Macca's ice cream that's proper ice cream frozen in like a plastic container that you can walk away with, and you could leave it for half an hour and it would still be melted. Like sorry, not melted, it'd still be frozen. And the flavor was unbelievable from those ice creams. They were so good. So another tip: get the ice cream in Korea.
Serious
Amazing,
question for you, James.
so
How
good.
many ice creams do you think you
Oh,
had?
I had sometimes 2 each night, but nah, I got at least 1 every night because they were just that good.
There's
And all
all
the vending machines as well. There's vending machines everywhere, and you can get ice cream. It's just
It is cool.
amazing.
Actually, the coolest vending machine I saw was one that had like toiletries in it. It was at the hotel we stayed at when we went to the snow in Korea, which we'll get to. But
We'll get to
that was
that.
definitely the coolest vending machine. Like it had like
Mm.
toothbrushes in it, skincare in it. It
And
was really
soon you'll be able to buy a house out of a vending machine. It's
yeah,
just they live small over there, and it's just crazy how you can, get everything out of a vending machine. So
yeah.
that was cool. So got a little bit of that at the DMZ as well, ice cream and plenty of other goodies.
Good.
And one of my other highlights was what we did was it the third day? I think we went to Seoul Tower.
Yeah.
Seoul Tower, that was brilliant. And people think that, well, when you look at it from a distance, it doesn't actually look like it's that big. Oh, you look up and you go, oh, okay, that's quite a big tower. But when you actually turn up, there's a bit of a cable cart that takes you up to the top. And then there's stairs and like a big flat sort of building area where they are conducting sword demonstrations.
Very historical.
Yeah, it's like a historical sort of
display.
place. And there's beautiful restaurants everywhere. Again, another convenience store where you can buy ice cream, all your little snacks for the day. So that was really cool.
They had all little markets there as well. Like there was ladies there crocheting things and had them on display for sale. There was lots of those cute key rings everywhere. No, it was Seoul Tower. So if
they had all the love locks as well.
oh, the love locks, yeah, of course.
You have to lock up your love there.
Lock your love, locks of love. No, that was really cool. But Seoul Tower, you can really see it from a lot of places in Seoul City, and you just see this massive pointy tower everywhere. So to go up the top, it was amazing to get that 360-degree view of Seoul City.
Yeah, it was crazy to see. Literally 360 degrees, but just how many buildings that they have.
All the apartments, everything.
Everything. It's just so packed. And then when you find out the population, it's actually not that much.
What's the population?
I think it was about 8 million. And I was like,
Is that right?
When you look around, there's
I think it's more than that.
Everywhere. And I was impressed to look around and just see it all. And yeah, their structures and everything, all their buildings look amazing. And it's quite a picturesque city when you look at it. So yeah,
it's a city
I
of
enjoyed that.
contrast. You've got big buildings, but then you've got beautiful gardens. It's cool.
Yeah.
But I when you went to the DMZ, I went shopping, and my best shopping recommendations would be to go to the underground shopping centres. I mean, there's lots of there's the Lottie shopping centres, there's the Hyundai Mall and everything like that. They look really fun, but they're also very high end and very expensive. And that's cool to see and everything, but sometimes you just want to buy stuff. So the underground shopping centres were really cool. They were all connected to the subway stations. So you kind of exit the subway and then you keep going down the stairs, and then there's all these shops everywhere, really good shops, all the kind of stuff that you want to find. Apparently, Gangnam. I went to the shopping centre under Gangnam train station, but apparently the bus station also has a really good shopping centre. Unfortunately, I didn't make it there, but that would be my tip: is find the underground shopping centres and things like that.
Yeah, plenty of underground.
Even Hongdae Station had shops in it that was great.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a great bakery there.
Actually, I was just about to say that the bakeries are great because you just when you need a snack in the afternoon, you come past and the smell that comes from the bakery.
Nice.
I don't know what it is, but I always find a nice bakery when I'm overseas. And those muffins or those cupcakes that we had, they were so good. Yeah, there's plenty to do in Seoul. I'll have to touch on as well. We went on this really cool sky bridge. It's actually on the DMZ tour. It's not too far from the DMZ, but you go on this really nice walk. You have to walk up a bit of a mountain, so bring your walking shoes that day because you do plenty of walking. And there's this really nice bridge walk that you can do just over. It looks over.
Is it like a swing bridge?
Yeah. So like a sway bridge, and it looks over the mountains. But it's a beautiful lookout, and it's just so refreshing to get up there, feel that beautiful cold winds coming through you, and it's just an awesome lookout. People take photos, and it just looks really cool. And you're not actually that far from, so it's actually incredible when you do that tour, and where you actually land in Seoul at the airport, you're only flying about 12 kilometers away from where North Korea are. So the airspace for North Korea is 12 k's away. It's really, really close, and it actually is quite eerie and freaky, but it's an insane experience. So it's the same with the bridge. You can hear all the background noise sort of just from really high up, and yeah, you can look out to the mountains and the view that you get there, and
What's the background
all
noise?
the snow. Oh, like you can just hear the speakers still from
From the demilitarized
from the
zone.
DMZ zone. You can hear what they're. So the South Koreans have these massive speakers set up, and they're aimed at North Korea, basically to let them know that we want, like, to let them know human rights, like, information, and they actually send Bible verses over, and they've had a lot of people escape because of it. A lot of people have tried to get into South Korea, so that's kind of cool. But it apparently travels like kilometers and kilometers sound, so we could still hear it even though we were like 30 k's away.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was really cool. So definitely throw the Sway Bridge on your bucket list for South Korea. Awesome, awesome fun.
Now, I think we can both agree that the best meal that you will have in Korea is Korean barbecue.
Yeah, that was very good. Very
We
good.
stumbled upon a place, and
Which is what you do over there. You just sort of stumble.
it
along
is hard.
places.
I think no matter where you are in the world, sometimes it's hard to find, you're starving and you want to find dinner.
Mm.
I feel like no matter where you are in the world, it can be
You
hard.
just want to find something nice.
You just want to find something nice, and anyway. But the Korean barbecue was lovely, and it was a really fun experience because we had the guy who was basically part of our dinner because he was there cooking with us the whole time. It was really fun and an interactive experience, so it's definitely a must do.
They put they have it's like a picture of big pizza oven with like hot coals in the actual table, and then he just basically cooks the meat over the top of you, and then he just dishes it out into your little bowl, and it's like this big, and he just gives you little pieces of meat the whole time, and that was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That was really nice meat too. Korean barbecue, very nice.
Really
the
nice.
Spice over there too. I found their food nice and spicy.
Everything was so spicy.
That
Actually,
was
we
good.
ordered something one night, and the lady came back to us and said, "Are you sure you want to order this? This is very spicy."
And I said, "Yes, let's get it."
But it was so spicy.
It was, but it was nice. It was really good
nice,
spice.
yeah.
I liked it.
Very warming. My other tip for food though is to have like a big breakfast in the morning. I'm not a big breakfast eater, but when I'm traveling, I find that having like 2 eggs in the morning, like having something that really lines your stomach, really helps you throughout the day because it means you don't get hungry throughout the day and then you have to stop and find food because I sometimes I'm like, there's so much I want to do. I don't want to stop and get lunch. That takes a whole hour out of my adventuring for the day.
Yeah.
So big breakfast, I always think. But there was also lots of nice places for hot chocolate everywhere. They were big on hot chocolate in Korea.
Hot chocolate was big. And the only other thing I'd recommend as well is just layer up for the day. Just make sure you've got a backpack because during the day, the sun does come out. People might think that you can go to Korea and it could be overcast for weeks and weeks, but then you could go there and the sun could come out. So we happened to be there and the sun was out, but it was still freezing cold.
We had blue skies every day.
Yeah, but you still need to layer up because it was fresh.
Yeah.
It was
so
cold.
In terms of layers, I would wear like a base thermal layer. Then I would kind of have just another layer over that. Then I would wear a fleece. And then I would wear my big long puffer jacket as well. That was
That's for a
what
girl.
I wore every day.
For a guy, probably take one of those layers off.
But you know what? Every guy in Korea was walking around with a puffer jacket. You were just the weird one who was just walking around in a t-shirt.
I don't really feel the cold. I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones. So
Seoul is cold. Be aware.
Yeah, it was cold, but should we talk about the trains and how to book them as well? For moving into different parts
we're
of Korea.
kind of coming to the end. Well, before we move on to chapter 2 and the snow in Korea, I want to ask you, what is your top recommendation for Seoul?
Top recommendation, I really enjoyed the DMZ. That was great fun if you love a bit of history. So I loved that. And Seoul Tower. Seoul Tower was great because, again, more history. It's very relaxing. It's just a nice, relaxing
We
place.
spent basically the whole day
We
there.
spent, yeah, a good portion there. And there's so much to see. So I would do those two things. Oh, and the Sway Bridge, that's also part of the
DMZ tour.
DMZ tour. But they're my two hot topics or hot destinations because I really enjoyed it. And obviously, we've only touched the service in Korea. So
Yeah,
there's
I
plenty
would
of other
I would
places.
definitely go back because there's still so much that we didn't get the chance to, because we only had 3 days. So they
Yeah.
were 3 jam-packed days and nights, really. We were out, till it was dark every day. I would say mine would have to be the Disney princess experience. E.g., I mean, wearing the hanbok, it really felt like a magical experience. And I think if you're a girl who wants to have that Disney princess experience, then you should rent a hanbok and go to a palace in Seoul, and you will have the most magical day and get the most wonderful photos out of it.
It was pretty cool to see it.
It was beautiful,
Mm,
really special. And yeah, I think Seoul would be a really great place to go to, especially on your way to somewhere, because from Australia we travel a long way to get everywhere.
yeah.
And I think
It's a good stop-off destination.
I think it would be a really great place to spend a few days before you then went somewhere else. And I think there's always like a new cafe to try out in Korea, or new shopping destinations, things like that. So I hope to go back.
Well, Korean Airlines has just received, I think, the best airline in the world.
They did. They won some award.
They got
yeah.
world #1. So, and we did go with them, and
We did go Korean Air.
They
yeah.
are an amazing airline. The
Well,
staff,
we went Korean Air from when we left from Incheon, from Seoul to Sapporo
Yeah.
in the north of Japan.
we'll touch on that a bit more later, but yeah, great airline. So if you are going to,
They were very lovely. I mean,
if you are going to Korea,
we flew Jetstar on the way over from Sydney to Seoul.
rubbish
and-
airline.
But look, the good thing about Jetstar is you get your Qantas points. I'll say that. But to be fair, like, you got one meal 2 hours into the flight, and I say meal, it was like, what'd you get? A sausage roll.
You got like a couple of snacks, so by the time you
Um,
get there, you're starving.
And the staff weren't overly nice, I've got to say, which is disappointing. But you know what? We got there.
That's Jetstar. It's what you pay for.
Yeah, it is what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
And that's okay. Still get the Qantas points.
And they still got us there, so
They
I was
still got
pretty
us
happy.
there, you know.
It's about a 10-hour flight, and it
It-
was comfortable. I was all right. We paid
Well,
for
we
the,
had extra leg room.
yeah, we paid for that extra leg room, so
We
we
were
could
on an
stand
exit
up,
row.
move around a bit.
Yeah.
So that was okay. I was happy with that. And yeah, I mean, I thought the trip was pretty good going there. But again, if you need to add a stop-off destination for your Europe trip or whatever, I recommend stopping off in Korea
Make
because
Seoul your next destination.
it's Seoul's got Seoul. It's a nice place.
Seoul's got Seoul.
So
So this is we'll finish part 1 here of Seoul, and we're going to move on to chapter 2 of this podcast.
yes,
And talk about our experience in Pyeongchang, which is like the ski fields of
the
Korea.
winter part.
So you can continue watching. We will be uploading part 1 separately and part 2 separately, but we'll also be uploading it as one episode as
Yeah.
well. So stay tuned
for part
for
2.
Part 2.